let's play with our favorite players on one team while I show you how to do a fantasy draft in Madden 20. That'll take your team to the playoffs and help you win games. Let's get started. Depending on where I pick, I usually take a pass rusher, a QB, or a corner with my first pick. In this case, we got Khalil Mack, so that's an easy choice. We're going to go ahead and take him as our pass rusher. Then I usually target a good linebacker with my second pick. In this case, Bobby Wagner's still available, so that's another easy decision. Every pick, you do have to decide if the position is valuable, how good the player is within their position, or whether that player will still be there later on. Picks 3 through 7 is when I usually look at the skill positions. So that's where I'll take my wide receiver, any additional cornerbacks. Make sure you take your quarterback here. And you're looking for your best value that's not offensive lineman. I'm taking a look at Antonio Brown and Cam Newton, but I think both those players will still be there. So let's go ahead and take a corner with this pick and take the best one available and take Patrick Peterson. Antonio Brown's still there, so let's go ahead and take him now. There's still a lot of good offensive linemen, but I think they'll be there a little bit later on. There's a couple good safeties left. I also try to look at some of the rookies because they're a lot of fun to play with. And that's why we always get the new Maddens, right? Play with the rookies. Devin McCourty's a really good safety. He'll be my back end ball hawk, so let's go ahead and take him. I'm really wanting Grady Jarrett here, but I think I need to take a quarterback, so I'm going with Cam Newton. He can scramble around a little bit, and he has a good strong arm. Round 7 still a little early for my offensive line, so let's go ahead and take another receiver. We'll take a young guy, we'll take DK Metcalf. All of the good rookies usually get taken between rounds 3 and 7. Even here you can see in round 7 there's not too many left. Alright, round 8, I usually try to wait for 8, 9, or even 10 sometimes late on to pick my offensive lineman, but when I do, I'll usually pick a couple in a row. I'm only picking guards here. A lot of the good tackles have already been taken, and we can repurpose the guards to fill those tackle spots. I'll show you how to do that. I'm really torn between Todd Gurley or Aaron Jones. Let me go ahead and go back and check on Todd Gurley. Some of his stats aren't as good as what Aaron Jones has. So ultimately I'm going to go with Aaron Jones here. He's a little bit better as a pass catching back. Let's go back and get some more offensive linemen, sticking with those guards because they're really high rated and they're going to be a lot better than any tackles that we can get. I'm also kind of taking notes on the development traits. If there's stars or superstars, I'm kind of picking those over the regular or the normal developers. I need to kind of round out my defensive line a little bit. Ultimately going with Jabal Sheard. See, there's still a lot of those interior alignments still left. So I'm kind of hoping they'll be there later on. I can round out my offensive line with those. Let's keep getting good linebackers and go KJ Wright. And we have one corner. and I'm really going to go zone. So I'm going to try to pick a young zone guy. By round 15, you should have your quarterback, running back, at least 2 wide receivers, 3 to 4 offensive linemen, 1 pass rusher at least, a couple linebackers, 1 or 2 defensive linemen, and maybe even 2 to 3 defensive backs, some combination of corners and safeties. That'll get you a good balance and get you some good base players. After pick 15, you can kind of round out your secondary, fill any gaps, or even focus on tight ends, and eventually get your fullback, kicker, and punter. You want to try to get the best available for those. You also want to look for your number 3, 4 wide receivers and corners as well. And here in these later rounds, I'm trying to get good value for my picks. I'm not going to get any superstar players, but if I can get some really good situational type players. Jonathan Joseph, he's a little bit older. He's going to retire in a couple years, but for at least this season, he's going to be pretty serviceable. Need another wide receiver. Need some speed. Can't get much faster than Deshaun. With what's left anyway. Jimmy Graham's really good at catching balls. Not so much at blocking, but he's big and he can catch. And Larry Fitzgerald's usually always going to be here later on. He's only because he's older, but he's still a very good receiver, especially in the slot. He'll always be open, crossing that center field. Older players will usually always be available in these later rounds because teams don't want to draft the old guys. Now here, all of my guards have been taken. There's really no good lineman left, so I'm just going to take the best one available for a position of need at center. Now in these later rounds, I'm going to go kind of quick, but I'm just trying to round out my roster, pick some role players, just in case maybe somebody gets injured, or they can rush. I'm also going to pick my kicker and my punter, just so I can get the best ones available for them. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm also going to pick a couple favorites for my favorite team. I'm going to go back and get Kerry Willis, James Devlin, just to get a good fullback. I sorted for lead block so he can help me on my run game. Alright, let's see who we got. Got Cam Newton at quarterback, Aaron Jones at running back with Nyheim Hines, who can also return, James Devlin fullback, picked up Antonio Brown, Deshaun Jackson, Larry Fitzgerald, and DK Metcalf for my top 4. So I got good speed and good route running. Got Mercedes Lewis. Jimmy Graham looks like he's injured down there. And then as you can see, I moved my guard to my tackle spot. And I got a 90 and a pretty good 80 overall for my offensive line tackles. Got some good run stopping on my defensive end. Didn't draft a good defensive tackle, but that's okay. I think we can move some players around a little bit. It's my stud, Cleo Mack. It's going to be one of my cornerstones, Bobby Wagner. It's another one in the middle of the defense there. Move some linebackers around, move some corners around. I drafted an extra safety so he can come up and be an extra corner. I'm going to try to play primarily zone, so man coverage or press shouldn't really be an issue. And DJ Swearinger's done good for me before, so Nothing's really changed with the power back. Slot receiver, told you Larry Fitzgerald. And then Khalil Mack's going to come down to the line for rushing. Sue's going to stay at his spot. I'm actually going to move Jabal Sheard up, since Sue is a better rush defensive tackle than he is an end. Just kind of keep the same players, but just rotate them around the line. Because I got a good line, just got to rotate them around, so that way they can get in their best position. So overall, a pretty good roster. So let's just see where it goes. I'm going to sim the rest of the season, and let's see if we make the playoffs. Alright, so we finished 12-4. Definitely made the playoffs. Even got a first round bye. Not too bad. Now let's see who won MVP and some of these other awards. And look at that. Cam Newton, MVP. Andy Reid was number 2 for Coach of the Year. Cam Newton is also Offensive Player of the Year. Bobby Wagner and Khalil Mack in contention for Defensive Player of the Year. DK Metcalf, 4th in voting for Offensive Rookie. I don't think I even had too many defensive rookies. Cam Newton, Best Quarterback. Antonio Brown, number 2 wide receiver in the AFC. And look at that. My guards did pretty good for my offensive line. And Khalil Mack got Best Linebacker. Bobby Wagner was also down here too. Patrick Peterson, one of the top DBs. And my kicker was Best Overall. Not too shabby. Make sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And stay tuned next week. I might do some more specific drafts for offense and defense. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.